This is, of course, Hollywood, the glamorous capital of the film world, where all would-be directors eventually wind up. But for every one that makes it big here, for every George Lucas or Steven Spielberg, there are literally dozens who never get past the studio gates. And tonight we thought we'd look at two such people, two distinctly different directors. Later on we'll meet Doris Wishman, the woman responsible for some of the most bizarre exploitation films of the 60s and 70s. But first let's say hello to the modern master of low-budget cricket, Mr. Fred Olen Ray.
Get out. Well, she's in there. Okay, fine. Right here.
35-year-old Fred Olen Ray is probably Hollywood's most prolific director.
I'm going to have to draw one of those pictures right now.
He's the new king of the B-movies, churning out feature films for the price of pop videos.
Here's the shot. Okay, Alex, get out of there.
22, take one.
Once Fred gets in the mood for filming, there's just no stopping him. Only last week he decided to finally finish his movie Demon Soul. But after he'd gone to the trouble of assembling a cast and a crew, he thought, why stop at just one film? Why not make another? Which is how his new movie, Bad Girls from Mars, began.
We're going to talk to Doc.
With a budget of just £40,000 and a 5-day shoot, one take is all he has time for. And just about everything that happens while the cameras are rolling will end up in the finished movie.
Most people are lucky to do one film a year. I can do maybe five a year. It keeps me entertained, keeps me off the streets.
How many films have you made altogether?
I think I've directed about 17 or 18. I think I've produced about 3 or 4 more beyond that. So probably the whole... I've ghost directed on some shows and ghost produced on some shows. So I probably had my hand in about 25 features over a 5-year period of time.
Hello now, Sam. Sam, now, you're not still sore about that headbutt, are you? Come on, have a heart.
This is one of Fred's most recent epics, the wonderfully titled Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Shot over 2 weekends, it was the first film to be released by Fred's own newly formed company.
We started making our own films as sort of a slap in the face to those people that told us what to do. And so within our budget range, we're able to do anything we want. I can make any kind of picture that I can afford to. I cast anybody I want, I'll write the script any way I want, I have final cut, I pick the composer, the title, everything. And that's it. It's my vacation. So unfortunately that my hobby and my profession happen to be the same thing. But the little films are our vacation away from the bigger companies that have a tendency to kind of push you and your films around when you work for them.
No, there won't be any more.
This is The Alien Dead, one of Fred's earliest attempts at a feature film. To raise the meagre amount of cash needed to shoot this extravaganza, Fred first borrowed money off his mother, and when that ran out, he secured a loan from a local bank using his motorbike as collateral. At the time, Fred was working at a Florida television station. Why did you decide to come to Hollywood after The Alien Dead?
Somebody made me mad. I think I didn't get the raise I wanted at the station. And to show them all, I said, I'll quit and go become a movie director in Hollywood. I had $180 and I got in my car and I drove here.
Face it, you don't just waltz into a town like Hollywood and just make a movie. Come on.
Things went pretty badly after that for a while, but eventually, you know, I turned it all around.
So how long was it before you managed to start working in films here?
Well, I mean, I got a job here almost immediately. You're freelancing special effects, makeup and stuff.
I'll tell you what I can do for you. I can probably get you started out doing some crewing work on a couple of films. Maybe, you know, just to get your feet wet, to help you learn a few things about the ropes. And meanwhile, I want you to keep working up on these great ideas, okay?
We made Scalps the next summer. I mean, I got here in December, November, and by the next summer I was shooting Scalps.
She did not know she was calling evil spirits of the past. They did not listen to the warnings before digging up the sacred ground of the dead.
I'm feeling the evil in this ground. It's alive with evil. Stop it.
It was just pretty dreadful. I mean, it was a dreadful movie. But, you know, we've got our foot in the door.
And what were the reviews like for Scalps?
Well, it was Dog of the Week on sneak previews, which I was very proud. You know, I had to call my mom and tell her about it. And they said it looked like it was edited with a tomahawk, and that it had made their dog throw up his dinner. And I mean, I thought that was a pat on the back.
Hold your head in fear that you are next. The only movie that you may not be strong enough to watch to the end.
And Scalps was a movie you made with friends. Did you learn anything from that experience?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, I think every film you do, you learn something, don't you? I don't know. I think I probably learned not to do that again, you know. And I learned I didn't really like scalping and raping girls on camera, you know. I didn't find that entertaining. I didn't find it fun to shoot, you know. And so I stopped that. I stopped that sort of thing. So we really don't have rapes or drug abuse or stuff like that in the films because I just don't find that entertaining. You know, I don't mind women abusing men. In fact, I kind of like that, but I don't like abuse toward women in films. I don't enjoy it.
Many of Fred's films are pretty standard action dramas aimed mostly at the video market with predictable plots and seemingly endless car chases. How do the low budgets you work with actually affect the films? Do you find yourself making use of stuff that's just available?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think sometimes we've made entire films around the fact that something's standing that cost someone else a lot of money and wouldn't cost us much. I think we've actually made entire movies because a set was standing or costumes were available or a vehicle of some futuristic sort was for rent. And when we did Phantom Empire, it was a case of that. I mean, everything in that movie was from someone else's movie. You know, the Logan's Run, Land Rover, Robbie the Robot. There was a big human barbecue spit from History of the World, Mel Brooks movie.
Hey, watch it, buddy!
Everything was from somewhere else. Even the costumes and things were from other movies.
In fact, for many of Fred's fans, it is this remarkable ability to cut corners that makes his films so enjoyable.
The same thing again. I wrote just enough of a script to get it get the scenes in the cans. I remember we went to a Zodi's, which is like a Kmart, and bought Flash Dance sweatshirts and stuff and cut them up and made the prison outfits out of them.
Mike! Mike, it's me, Squeaker. Say something. Squeaker, sit down.
We used the Logan's Run Land Rover again. We used some more Metal Storm costumes, and we used all the spaceships were from Dark Star, Buck Rogers, and Battle Beyond the Stars. So there wasn't a single model shot in the whole film that we did ourselves. So yeah, it was kind of culled from a lot of garbage cans there too.
Does it frustrate you that you have to borrow other people's bits and pieces to make your movie?
No, I love doing it. For a couple bucks, you can rent what cost someone else a lot of money, and it made my film look fantastic.
The Sovereign's High Command has found you guilty of murdering Zal, the Taoist priest, and 2 of His Majesty's troopers. For these acts of insanity, I sentence you to the prison ship Vehemence, where you will live in chains for the next 7 years, or until you die, whichever first occurs.
Now, using someone like John Carradine, his name presumably doesn't have quite the pulling power it used to, but
Yes.
is it still something which helps sell a movie?
I don't know. I think it just helped our morale. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing, you grow up as a kid watching him turn into a bat, and he was a big horror star. And then there he is. He's sitting there, he's in your movie. And that always amazed me that, you know, I'm just a kid, you know, or just starting out. And some of these people who you grow up admiring, now they're asking you what you think. You know, somebody who might have been bothered just to give you an autograph 15 years ago, now you're their employer. And And they want to know what you want, and they'll do what you tell them to. And I mean, you feel like you just really don't have the right to be telling people like John Carradine how to do their job, so I don't.